Hi there everyone, welcome back to Team Tana. Today we're going to take a look at another fountain pen, this time from Nahvalur. Nahvalur is previously known as Narwhal, so this is what I am going to show you today. It comes in this black cardboard box that also has the Narwhal logo and the Narwhal name on it. The specific one that I got is this Narwhal Original Plus Limited Edition fountain pen that comes in two colors. They come in material white and also in Lovina black. So the one that I have here is the material white, and I think both of these fountain pens are named after two beautiful beaches in Tahiti and in Bali, Indonesia. So what I really appreciate about the Narwhal fountain pen, apart from the pen itself, is also the fact that it comes in a leather pouch. So I am not sure if this is genuine leather, so probably a vegan leather, I'm not sure about that, but I appreciate that it comes in a pouch like this that also has their branding on it. So it is roomy enough to actually fit two pens. So that way you can absolutely reuse this. And I especially appreciate that because I don't need to purchase a separate pouch or pen case, just to protect my pen. So Narwhal, good job on that one. 2 thumbs up. Okay, so I am going to talk about, the size comparison, the material they use in the pen. We're going to talk about the filling mechanism and also, more importantly, how to fill up this pen. So this is basically my first vac filler fountain pen, and I've had it for maybe about 3 weeks. So I waited 3 weeks to review this because I really wanted to test it and to be more objective with my thoughts about it. Alright, so first up, let's do some size comparison. So this particular fountain pen is about, I would say, a standard size. It's about a little over 5.5 inches long. But for visual size comparison, I'm going to show it to you side by side with the other fountain pens that I own. So this is the Twisby Eco. So let me zoom this in a little bit more. So as you can see, they are more or less the same size, but this one has a slightly longer cap, so it's slightly longer than the Twisby Eco, but the build quality is more or less similar. So these are both demonstrator pens, and they are more or less, I would say, the same thickness. Okay, and here it is with my Lamy All-Star. So as you can see, more or less the same length. Maybe this Narwhal pen is slightly longer, okay, but more or less the same thickness with the Lamy All-Star. Okay, here it is with the Pilot Falcon. Falcon, of course, is shorter, and then here it is with a standard, retractable gel pen. So as you can see, the size is more or less, the same in length, okay, with this regular, gel pen. Okay, so when it comes to the thickness of the pen, I would say that it's very close to the Twisby Eco. Maybe just a tad bit wider or a tad bit thicker, maybe very, very, very slightly. I would say maybe like a hairline thicker. Okay, so when I first actually held it with my hand, I felt like, this is a solid pen. It has a nice, durable, sturdy feel to it. Okay, let me see here. So this actually is a little bit, I would say, heavy than the Eco. Okay, I don't have a weighing scale, so I cannot really show you that, but the feel of it is it's more heavy. Okay, it's not like too heavy, like it's made of metal. It's not like it's a Jinhao X450 or something like that. No, it is heavy, but it's not too heavy, and it's still comfortable to hold. Okay, but it is actually heavier than the Eco. All right, so the build of the pen, in terms of material, they use resin, to build this pen. I am not sure about the Eco, what it's made of, but I know that in their packaging there was a warning never to use alcohol to clean it. But I don't think that this one specifically says not to use alcohol. I don't know, but I would refrain, from cleaning it using alcohol. All right, so you have a nice sturdy clip in here. What I like about the pen is it looks stunning. It has a nice rose trim, okay, on the metal portions of the pen. So that includes the clip, the top of the cap in here, the band that carries the logo. So it does say Narwhal on there. So both sides on the front and also here on the back. So this is a threaded fountain pen. So you screw it on, screw it off. You have the section here is also made of acrylic, and also the knob piece here that you turn in order to fill up the fountain pen. So it's also made of acrylic. I think the body is also made of acrylic. You have your nib. So this particular model comes in a stainless steel nib. So I don't know if it's plated in rose gold, but the nib itself looks like it's rose, I mean in color. It does have their narwhal logo on the nib, which I think is cute. And you also have an engraving that tells you exactly what is the nib point. So it's on the side here. I don't think if the camera can capture, but it says F there, which means fine. So I got this in a fine nib. Now the feed is made of plastic. So there are things that I think that they could have done better with, you know, the build of the pen. It's just not that it matters, but if you're somebody who is, you know, into the aesthetic portion of the pen, I think that this would look a little nicer if you have like a transparent feed, because as you can see, this pen is you know, ivory white, and this is very visible, you know, in the cap and also in the knob over here on the end piece of it. However, because the feed here is black, so as you can see, the section, although they are of the same color, because the black provides, you know, a contrast to the white, this makes it look more of like a dirty white. So I think that if they have like a transparent feed, you know, this is going to look more like the one that you have here on the end piece, which is just ivory white. Anyway, not that it matters, but you know, if you're somebody who is into aesthetics, then maybe, you know, you'll consider that. Well, anyway, another thing that I think that they could have done better with this is to make everything, when I say everything, like the metal portions of it, look all consistent. Like if you have the rose gold trim on this metal piece, then maybe the rod inside it should be, you know, rose gold as well. I think that would make the pen even more stunning, but it comes in like a silver rod. Okay, at least that's what it looks like to me. All right, so the way you fill up the pen is a little bit different than most piston filling fountain pens. So since this is vac filler, you would have to unscrew the knob and then pull up the rod all the way up and then push it down. And as you're pushing it down, make sure that you have your nib fully submerged, you know, in your ink bottle. And then as you drop, you know, this rod all the way down, you'll hear a popping sound because you are releasing all of the air pressure that you build up when you pull it up. So as you pull it down, you're like, boom, you're dropping the pressure there. And so what happened was there was an exchange of pressure so that, you know, the ink gets displaced in your bottle and will find its way in the ink channels of your feed, and then slowly, you know, get into, you know, the ink chamber. And that's how you fill up your vac filler pen. I'm not going to show it to you right now, but I would probably make, you know, a separate video for that because this one is already inked up. So that's about it. Another good thing about it is, since this is a demonstrator pen, you can actually see everything that's going on, the amount of ink that you have left on your pen. And the vac filler has a large ink chamber, so it carries, you know, a large ink capacity of about more or less 1.5 ml. So if you're a student and you do a lot of note taking, a lot of writing, then you will find that useful. You don't have to worry about running out of ink or, you know, filling up your pen too frequently. Okay, but if you are somebody who likes to test, you know, different colored inks, then you probably don't want a full fill of your fountain pen. All right, so that's about, you know, the material, the build, and the size. So now for a more important part, let's take a look at how the pen performs. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is to do a little bit of, I would say, comparison, okay, for the nib point. So the one that I have here is actually a fine nib. I am using my Maruman notebook to actually do a writing, and I've already inked up this pen with KWZ Honey, which is, you know, a stunning ink in my opinion. So let's take a look at how the pen writes. Oh, by the way, this is something really important. Now, if you are using a vac filler pen, sometimes you would find it dry, and if you feel that the pen is starting to get dry, and that is because it is starved of ink, you probably have forgotten to, you know, do a little bit of, you make a little bit of room for the ink, okay, to flow in your feed. So this takes a lot of time getting used to. You would have to open up this knob here, so to provide some space to get the ink flowing in the feed. Otherwise, it's not gonna write, and you think it's gonna feel really, really dry, and that is because you have absolutely, you know, locked this, because this is some kind of a valve, so you have to open it up to get the ink flowing. So anyway, let's take a look at the way the pen writes here. So actually, I kind of like the way it writes. I don't really have much expectation for Narwhal, because again, this is my first Narwhal pen. Okay, it actually writes very, very smoothly. Okay, so let's write the name here. So this is Narwhal. Okay, this is the original plus. Okay, and this is the limited edition. Okay, fountain pen in fine nib. So this is a fine nib, and the ink that I'm using here is the KWZ ink in honey. Okay, and let's do a little swatch there. I actually love the honey ink. I don't know why my camera cannot capture the right color of the ink. This actually looks like a golden brown, and I love golden brown inks. So as you can see over here, okay, although this one is a fine nib, this actually looks more of like a medium to me. All right, they say it's fine, and the ink flow is really good. As you can see, it is fairly wet there in that smear test. And let's do another writing here. Let's do the quick brown fox. Okay, all right, so as you can see, it's very smooth and a pleasant to write with. Okay, really, really nice to write with, and I absolutely love the ink as well, because it's, like I said, golden brown, and I like golden brown inks. And this ink, I think, smells really nice, because it does smell like vanilla. You almost want to taste it, and also it offers like plenty of, you know, shading as well. So this would look really, really good in, you know, broader nibs, or if you have like a flex nib. I think that would showcase the shading properties of the ink a lot better. And of course, the kind of paper you use, of course, matters a lot too. So let me provide you another sample of what I found is, if I write with a heavy hand, this kind of fountain pen would produce like a bolder line. So let's try that. So I'm gonna try to maybe press a little bit in here. Like, I'm not pressing too much, but as you can see, the ink here is thicker on the pen. All right, and it does give me like a bolder line. Okay, I'm going to do like a cursive writing here. Okay, and as you can see, the ink here is really, really wet. Okay, so which means that the ink flow is really good. Okay, so this is a fine nib. However, if you vary your pressure and you write with a heavy hand, I find that it will give you a nice bold thick line. All right, so let's compare this with the other fine nib, so a Japanese fine. So again, let's do some writing. So this is Narwhal fine. Okay, and that's what the fine nib looks like. Now I'm gonna cap it, and I'm going to maybe do a comparison using another fountain pen. So this is my Pilot Falcon, which is also quite wet. This is also fine. Okay, so I don't know if you can see the difference, but I find that the Narwhal fine is a little bit thicker than, you know, the Japanese fine nib, and you can see that there is a remarkable difference between, you know, writing with a heavy hand and writing with a light hand. So if you write with a light hand, as you can see, the line would be finer, but if you write with like a heavier hand, so this would be, you know, thicker. All right, at least that's what I found about, you know, the kind of thickness of the lines, okay, for the Narwhal pen. Now for writing sample, This is Maruman, but I tried writing with it in my Tomo River notebook, and that's what I'm gonna show you next. Alright, so using the same pen and ink, this is actually what the writing looks like. Alright, so I think I did a little bit of pressure here in my writing, and also my writing is a little bit bigger. And as you can see, let me show this to you. This is what a fine nib looks like on paper. So actually it does not look fine at all, right? It does write more like a medium, you know, I would say, right? But the ink that I'm using here is really gorgeous. So that is the KWZ honey. All right, so what do you think about this pen? Is this something that you think you would want to add to your collection? Okay, what do you think about vac fillers, you know, in general? Please let me know, and I appreciate your comments. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you have not subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button so you will be notified when I upload my next videos. And I'll see you again next time. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.